if you live in Kolkata and you're not living under a rock, there's a place in Hindustan Park which is called Sienna, which has evolved and celebrated the 10th anniversary just a month ago, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Shuli Ghosh, whose dream space was this place that she started with her mother. And now it has multiple layers. It's like a multifaceted organism. That's the best description I could think of for Sienna at this point. There's a clothing store, there's a tasting menu. And I had a lot of food, so we decided to do the interview after I have had my own check-in on the food. But welcome, Shuli, to the print.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
let's start with, where did this idea begin that you wanted to start something which is not very usual for Bengal or Kolkata?
So actually, we started with handmade pottery.
Okay.
It sounds ironic now, but basically, my mother started this workshop in Shantiniketan with a colleague, an artist and sculptor, and they basically trained the artisans in the neighboring area to do ceramics and basically glaze. And she started this workshop. It was a beautiful space creating lovely things, but it was lying dormant for many years. And it's actually on the outskirts of the main Shantiniketan area in a village called Daronda. So after I studied in university in the US, I came back and I was kind of lost and trying to figure out what to do next. And I told my mom that, we should open a space here in Calcutta so that people can see the ceramics that you're making in the workshop. And she was part of the design as well in a big way. So we decided to open this space. My grandmom's home is just a few blocks down in Keatola. And all of these are lovely residential spaces with very beautiful, like 100-year-old homes. And a lot of families living here for many generations. But one such family was about to leave and move to another space. So my mother found this space and then we decided to open a store. And it was just an afterthought to open a cafe where we would basically serve tea, coffee, and we were working with an NGO called Shuktara to just have some cakes. And that was the idea, that if people are looking at the crafts of Bengal and especially the pottery, they can stop by the cafe, have a tea, and then come back to the store. But little did we know that the cafe would turn out to be actually a larger component in a sense. It just brought people from all over. And, I think food is something that brings people together in a way that other things don't. So that kind of helped bring people to this space. And then they were also like buying the pottery and, supporting the craft workshop in Shantiniketan. So it became like an ecosystem. And then we realized over time that we should put in more, sort of just invest more into the food side of things. And right before the pandemic, we hired a very large team, had a very large space in Park Street. And then we were in lockdown and we couldn't really function as a restaurant. So we had to pivot and we thought, okay, we'll start delivering the food. And we did do a delivery menu, which we had never had before in our restaurant. And we would do weekly specials that would change every week so people would get a chance to try something new. And that's when we hired a professional team made up of Avinandan and Koel, who are now our co-head chefs. Right. And they brought in this sort of focus on Bengal and the idea of using local ingredients, because at that time during the lockdown, it was very hard to have any sort of good suppliers and access to good produce. So we actually were lucky because we got the bazaars and we were able to just go to the local markets and buy produce still. So we kept, whatever we would find, the bazaar would come into the menu as ingredients or recipes and things like that. So that's how we started. And then when we reopened, we just continued that idea and went into what we call a Bengal to table menu, which is, again, as we were talking about earlier, like it's not Bengali food necessarily, but it's the food of Bengal. So now, since last year, since we've had our renovation, now it's Sienna Calcutta, which is basically made up of the cafe on the ground floor, which is our classic cafe favorites that people used to love from the very beginning. Then our restaurant on the first floor, which basically has that Bengal to table menu. The focus on technique and the focus on Bengal is much more. And it's a sort of like a more elaborate meal than the cafe. And then recently we've started our tasting menu, which is called Ranna Ghar, which is where we're sitting currently. And it's an intimate 8-seater space with an open kitchen. So you get the chance to not only, see how the food is being made, but also basically have conversations around the context of the food and the cultural context and the socioeconomic context of food. And the chefs present the menu. It's a 13-course tasting menu. Okay. And they present it to you sort of live in a sort of live kitchen space.
Okay.
So,
I'm
yeah.
guessing this is it is 10 you have to reserve.
Yeah, you have to reserve.
Right.
So,
For how advanced do you?
So we open it up a month in advance,
Okay.
and it's on Zomato district now. So you can book
Okay.
from all over India, and a lot of people, especially in December, are booking from different parts of the world, which is really interesting and fun. Because the idea is that it's a unique experience in the city that you can have, because we are also doing explorations through the state and trying to figure out how and discover and just educate ourselves also on how people are eating in different corners of the state.
Right.
So, whether it's Birbhum or Bankura and, other parts of Bengal, and how, our response to sort of the produce, ingredients, recipes, different kinds of protein, or even there's such a range of vegetarian food as well in Bengali cuisine that we hardly sort of focus on in commercial restaurants. So the idea of this space is to kind of give people in the city different experience, holistic experience, and also deep dive into our own culture and how we eat.
Sienna is a unique departure in the food scene of Kolkata that usually relies on affordable street food, thalis, or quintessential cafe food. Sienna breaks the mold with a variety of dishes that have familiar beginnings but veers towards fusion.
So I am here with Koel, who's one of the head chefs at Sienna. And usually the structure in a restaurant is that you have a head chef or an executive chef and you have a sous chef. The sous chef is usually somebody who is assisting, helping out, things I have learned from cooking shows, by the way. So now I'm going to ask Koel how, it's interesting because Sienna has two head chefs. She's one of them. And why was this concept introduced here?
Okay. We believe in more it's applied for throughout the team. It's more flatter structure, and when we are talking about the more flatter structure, it's about because we wanted to implement or whoever is working in this space, they are taking ownership,
right,
or taking they are thinking this is their space. So this, when you are trying to implement sort of this kind of mentality or structure, then it's like you have to give them positions as well. So it's not like over here it's like all commis 2, commis 3, commis 1. It's not like that. Even having two head chefs means you are trying to consistency. It's a huge thing for us, every day. So we are helping each other. I am learning from Abhinandan a lot because he's technically he's my senior, because he used to be CDC back then. I used to be a sous chef, and then they promote me as a co-head chef with Abhinandan. So once I'm learning the head chef role and trying to lead that particular role, whatever responsibility we have, and also it's you are we are even when I'm not here, Abhinandan is backing my job role when he's not here, because it's matter whoever is coming every day. It's a day experience that our guest is having. So sort of you are trying to maintain and are consistent about that. Also in terms of team leading, one person can't, because this is very chef forward space. Everything, it's very food centric, and even there is no particular chefs are not going to the floor. It's not like that. So chefs are also going and doing interaction with the guest. They are telling the story, because you need to know why the Sienna food is sort of, we are thinking it's different from others. Right. So you need to tell your story. So for that, we don't believe ki just FOH will do that job. Other hand, my bartender Manan also doing a lot job in the kitchen. It's whenever front of house they don't cook. No, it's not, because if they want to tell the story, they need to understand the ingredient. They need to understand how it's made, right?
Right.
So it's everywhere you have to be flexible. So yeah, so those things I think that's really matter. And co-head chef, it's unique. This flatter structure is unique just to make take more ownership for this space. That's it.
Okay. So for somebody who's from Calcutta or it's probably just from eastern side, not necessarily from Kolkata or Bengal, they might have some semblance of idea of some of the ingredients that are presented through your dishes, right? In terms of the championing of local ingredients that you do here. But if you were to sort of communicate it to somebody who does not really have a lot of idea about the cuisine here at all, so how would you sort of go about it?
What I figured out personally, food is very universal. The food philosophy, how it's made, or the theory behind it making, it's very universal. If you go to the North Italy, there is something, you will figure out some kind of connection where you grow up, right? So you don't have to be like whoever is coming in the city and having a lunch or dinner at the Sienna. That person, we want end of the day, that person should connect with the food and the place. And that's why like Sienna food is like, we like followed more global technique because then it's easy to connect. And the ingredients, yeah, definitely. Ingredients, it's just depend on the region you are belong from, right? So that part, we need to tell our story also. But I think sometimes if you're just reading the menu, that time it's a difficult one if someone is not from the region.
Right.
But we are here to
Sort of
help them out, figure out.
Okay. So, some of the dishes which, people do speak about from here, which have become popular, which incorporate obviously your philosophy of ingredient forward and local ingredient forward. So if you had to pick 2 dishes from Sienna that you might want to sort of explain how it is using that philosophy, what would those dishes be?
One, my very favorite, that's a kalachiri pork.
Okay.
That's so because we are that's the technique wise we are taking the kakuni format, like how the entire pork belly breast in a liquid, and we also like use a lot of kalojire in our spices.
Right.
Again, there is a til chicken, til pork.
Right.
So sort of like different kind of inspiration or flavor profile you are trying to, like, you can, like when I'm making kalojire pork, if someone is like from the northeast part, suddenly they will pick, okay, this is like very til chicken or til pork, right? So that connection,
Right.
again, that's I have like taken the kalojire bata from the Bangladesh Opar side,
Right.
which is very similar to til bata.
Right.
So again, these are the communications that we just need to tell the story, because but it's very taken inspiration from what we have, and you will see how our history also will tell how influenced our food. It's not like any recipe. It's not about it ours. Food is very universal. We
Right.
always learn from each other. So we are just telling. I believe the Sienna is just going that. Because when I'm cooking personally, my simple inspiration from like my sides, whatever we have, or planning what we are going to do next, those pretty job is there. And then next, like you have to attend the floor sometimes. And there are also like, because we are like sort of like constantly changing our menu, constantly doing new things. So those R&D part is always there. So with that one job role, and also we are doing the tasting menu all the for the weekends. So that again, we just wanted to be part, like leading that, like there you have to be like at least 3-4 people. So most of like my sous chefs and me and Abhinandan, there is Tina, again another chef.
Yes.
She's like 4 or 5 of us. We are doing this tasting room through the weekends because the restaurant is also busy. So we just divided ourselves in a different part. So yeah, like my end weekends, it end almost like 11, 15, 20. Rest of the weeks, it's like I generally take one day off. But it's not fixed.
Okay.
Whenever I need, I mostly took the day off, and generally it's like around 10 it's finished. in the weekdays most of the time.
One of the most popular dish, which is the bhetki alakif.
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't know, alakif, chicken alakif is one of the very, very popular dishes here. Sound of bars in Park Street. If you go, like, it's just signature dish, right?
Yeah.
So, and it'll probably be one of the recommendations that you'll get if you come to the city to definitely try out. Of course, what's different here is that it's
It's
fish.
with the fish.
And the other things are same because I did try it. So I want to understand, probably you'd be the better person to sort of explain that part of influence. And also, why did you choose bhetki and to bring into an alakif?
Acha, so to work with fish, that because we wanted to work with a lot more river fish or the fish we had, and choosing bhetki because it's easy to eat. Those things also, whenever we are writing menu, it's not always very doing experimental or pushing everything. We tried to push because we are using other hand morala mach bhaja, which is like pushing boundaries, but we are very regular, like choto mach is very Bengali thing. But sort of it's easy to work with bhetki. Sometimes it's like everyone sort of okay with bhetki. And when you are having chicken alakif, it's like more nostalgia, but being and chef, sometimes like we also want to have that dish, how it could be like more interesting. So sort of that, from that notion, actually it became like, okay, let's try with the fish. And definitely bhetki is one of the easiest. It doesn't have any bone. Technically it's easy. But, and again, you want some kind sort of like, sweet, almost neutral, doesn't have like too much fat, too much aroma, because you are putting more fat in it, the butter. And we put some radhuni pata celery, which is like more, looks like flat leaf parsley, but it's a
different, yeah.
So we just mixed it, and it's just a bed of mash underneath. That's simple. So yeah, I feel more, it's always felt good when you're having chicken breast rather than fish. That tastes better.
Sienna is a firm proponent of eating with the seasons, which also highlights their bazaar to table concept. The chefs source their ingredients from weekly markets, which showcase seasonal delights from vegetables, greens, grocery to certain condiments. Even the rice used in the restaurant is chosen as per the season. For example, Badshah Bhog is used for Gola Bhat along with Radha Tilak. The latter is also used in one of the signature cocktails.
Bhat means rice in Bengali. So this drink is having a Radha Tilak rice, which is a bit indigenous and native to Bengal. So it's a short grain aromatic rice. When we used to toast it, it extracts that nutty caramelly profile to it. So we have infused that rice with white rum. So we have overnight infused it in a deep freezer. For the sweetener, as we know that in old fashioned we use simple syrup as a sweetener agent, but here we have replaced that simple syrup with mirin. Mirin is again a Japanese rice wine, which is a bit sweet in profile, and a bit of aromatic bitter and citrus oil. So this drink is more like a nutty caramelly profile, but on the nose you will get the citrusy and aromatic notes to it. So this is my Radha Tilak rice infused white rum. Just have a taste how it tastes. It's a bit nutty, caramelly, toasty. Like, no, you are having popcorn.
Yes. What is your usual role, like, in the sense, like, because you are behind a bar and I do see there are 2-3 seats there where I guess it'll be much easier for people to interact, or maybe they can ask you more about the drinks. But otherwise, when other people who are seated, do you go interact with them? Do they want to know, okay, what is this? Like, what am I drinking? Especially if they are not from this place, so the ingredient might also be very unfamiliar to them when they're ordering. So do they come up or ask questions, or do you go and speak to people?
Look, I like to very much surprise people in every moment. Like the moment, what I expect is after having a sip, the person should have a smile in his face. That's it. That's
Right.
a smile. That's what I keen for while I'm making the cocktail. I am just imagining that how it's gonna taste, because while like something when you're imagining while making, I usually don't taste while
Okay.
making the drink. I just imagine that how it's gonna taste like,
Right.
and while after having the sip,
What the audience, I mean, the customer is how it's his or she's going to react.
that's what I keen for, because the same goes for while we are making bhog. Like we can't taste.
Right.
While we are,
So that's the philosophy that you're
That's the
making for a lot of people, but
it's a
you have to rely on instinct to some extent, right?
So that's what I keen for.
Okay. So, which is interesting because then you're telling me that even in the cocktail section, the philosophy that you have at Sienna, which is sort of putting the ingredient first and building a story, and paying an ode to the history of the place is sort of happening even when it's at the drink section, right? Just the last question I wanted to ask, like you've been around here for like 6-7 months, right? So what has the response been in terms of sales? Like, because Sienna didn't traditionally have a bar, like it started with a cafe and the food. So how's the response been like? Are people more people coming in wanting to taste the cocktails as well as much as the food?
Cocktails are like, people are loving it. They sometimes it happens that it's of love from people.
Right.
They are coming just not to just have
The
a
food?
cocktail, just to meet,
Acha, oh, that's
or-
nice.
like just to have one drink, to have a gala type. That's what's like inspired me or make me realize that I am privileged, but I am not grateful for it. That made me realize in some point that I was very rude or I was very hard to myself. But those moments made me realize that you have to be devotee, you have to like grateful in some sort of way. Like it's not just about serving, making drinks or serving food or serving drinks. It's all about that those experience, those moments which you create a experience that makes that long last effect. That same goes to our audience here.
Okay.
Like the way you made them realize or made them feel that you are in a home, not in a restaurant.
Right. That feeling of
That
the homely
feeling of
feeling.
antorikata.
Right. Yes.
What we call antorikata. That
Yes.
Antorikata has to be there.
Yeah. So Antarikata again is both actually interestingly an Assamese and a Bengali word. Since I'm Assamese, I get that. So it is a sense of sort of embracing or creating that space for warmth. The moment it's 12:30, you will start seeing the first queue of the first set of people waiting outside Sienna to enter. They would be putting down their names. And if it's a busy day, you would also have morhas, which are traditional bamboo-made sort of chairs where they'll wait till their turn comes in. Now, even though Sienna has 3 layers, the topmost layer where I'm actually standing right now, that's open only on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. As soon as the clock strikes 12:30, people start coming in at Sienna. People are very, very particular when it comes to starting the day with a meal at this particular place. Now, it could be at their cafe, which of course serves their traditional continental kind of food along with dessert and coffee. Or they might want to come to the dining space where you have a small bar and which also serves cocktails along with the food. And right now where I'm standing, which is basically the Rannagar, which is the new addition, the new innovation to the existing space, where you have 8 people who at the same time can sample a 13-course meal, and they can also get to know more about the food directly from the chef who's preparing it. So I'm sitting now right in front of Sienna, and right behind me is the entrance to not just the store where you find all sorts of stuff from handicrafts to clothes, but also once you keep going inside, you can choose which level you want to go up and have your food at. So all through the conversations that we had with the people who work at Sienna, who are part of Sienna, I still learned that what I learned is that the idea is to present food from Bengal in a way which falls in line with fine dining, but also to never stray far away from the roots. And it is 1 p.m. now, and it's a weekday. It's a Monday, by the way, that I'm sitting here. And you can already see a flurry of people behind me just waiting to try the food. And if you want actually more stories like this, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also our social media handles. This is Tina Das reporting from Kolkata.